the community where we are born will rise to be one of the greatest communities of our country and will lead the country forward to meet its destiny. Long ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and the time now comes when we shall redeem our pledge. 15th August 1947. And we have to redeem that pledge in our lifetime. And all of us are Saraswats, denizens of the Saraswati River, which dried up 4,000 years ago. We left our homeland, went all across Bharatavarsha, and have landed in many places in the south of the country. So we have a tryst with destiny. At that time, Pandit Nehru also said, a time comes which comes rarely in the life of a nation when we step out from the old into the new. And the time has now come when we all gathered here to work to realize our dream, to take stock of what we have achieved and what we ought to do. For any community to grow and to develop, there are many things that we must do. To me, the foremost is education. India was a rich country and the richest country the world has known because we were a riverine civilization. And in our civilization, the scholar was at the top of the totem pole, not the soldier. In every other civilization, every other country, it is the soldier who was at the top. The soldier had the power of the sword. In India, it is the power of the mind that dominated. So and so, when the Rajguru came into the court of any king, the king came down, met him, washed his feet, took him up, put him on a pedestal higher than him, and listened to him. That's the respect we gave scholars. That's why we were a great civilization. And we must preserve that tradition, and we must give education to all our children. Education is the greatest gift a society can give its young people. Because a tyrant can take away everything you have, but cannot take away the knowledge in your mind. And the knowledge creates wealth. Knowledge creates progress. We are now in the knowledge economy. Look at who the most powerful people in the world. All of them are part of the knowledge industry, entrepreneurs, but part of the knowledge industry. And they have enormous power. And that's why we must focus on education and higher education. Educate our young people, make them realize their dream. No Konkani child should be deprived of higher education for want of means. It's a very simple statement, very complex. But we must do that because they are going to grow in a society which is going to be extremely competitive, extremely global, and very innovative, and which changes very fast. And the change is going to be so fast that most of us will not be able to understand the change. And you'll see it later in the day when young people come and talk to you. The second important thing for any community to grow up is to be economically strong. Nobody cares for a poor person. We need knowledge, but the knowledge has to lead to power. Why power? Because we have to protect ourselves. We have to compete. And the power is required to the creation of wealth, to economic might. And we live in a world where the economy is going to dominate everything, has dominated. The British took away $45 trillion of our wealth from 1757 to 1947 in today's money. We were a wealthy country. Our forefathers worked very hard to create wealth. Sone ki chidiya was what India was called. And we must recreate that. It is our duty, it's our obligation to become economically strong. Because when we become economically strong, every person in India will have the necessities of life. A roof over the head, water in the tap, power in the switch, a toilet in the house, a gas stove, money in the bank, a bank account, an internet connection, a mobile phone, food on the table, education for the children, a health insurance. Modi is doing that. He's a very smart guy. And once everybody has that, there'll be no deprivation in this country. There should be no deprivation in the land of Shri Ram and Shri Krishna. There should be no deprivation. And that's our obligation. My younger brother traveled through India when he was very young. He went on a motorcycle. And he told me, any village where he went in the night and knocked on the door, they opened the doors to him. And if they had 2 rotis, they gave him both the rotis. They did not eat. They gave it to him. That's the people of India. An ordinary person of India. With generosity in the heart, compassion. And that country should not have deprivation. We are a blessed country. We have an abundance of everything in this country. Yes, we have been exploited for maybe 1,000 years. Our culture has been destroyed. We have been looted. But now we are free. And we have to work as a community to become economically strong. And the way to become economically strong is through entrepreneurship. Yes, many of our leaders have come and said, we have become job seekers. Yes, I agree. I agree. But when you don't have food on the table, you want security. You want security. Large jobs were created. And our parents worked very, very hard. Didn't earn too much of money to educate us. My generation is possibly the first generation that grew up fully educated. And we've done well. We've done well for ourselves. And our children should have the best of everything. They should not worry about taking care of their parents, their siblings, or anybody. They should worry of the greater things of life, to become entrepreneurs, conquerors of the world, travel all around the world, be global citizens, and live a full life where all their dreams come true. There should be nothing lacking for them to realize their dream. And that is our obligation as parents. And that's why the time has come. For everything, there is a time, and the time has come. Yes, we had Dayanand Mom, we had Prakash Pai, we had many others who got awards, who became entrepreneurs. But they struggled for years and years and years. It's been hard work. Of course, she did it. I know that, but both of you worked hard. Shri is also here. They've struggled. Their parents struggled. They had nothing. Dayanand Mom had a cycle and a dream. He had no money in the pocket. Very smart man. He made money out of his skill. But that was a different time. Now, time is short. We can do things faster. And that's why we need entrepreneurs. And that's why this Entrepreneurship Conclave has come at the right time, where we showcase the successes of many people who worked very hard in industry. And we showcase young people who have a dream. And we should support them to make sure that they can grow very fast, do things at a time when the world has changed in a very different way. And then we have to have finance. Praveen Kadle is here, a finance man. We need to have money. We need to have control over finance. We need to have the power of capital. We need venture capitalists. We need financiers. We need big bankers who can write big checks to invest for the future. We need risk takers. Because only when we invest, when we give capital, can people grow. So we have to be very strong in our financial system, finance. And we are strong. We have got good savings. Now we got to accumulate that finance, bring it together, channelize that to support our entrepreneurs. They should not go door to door to ask for money. I remember Narayan Murthy told me in 1981, he went to a bank and asked for a loan, 2 lakh rupees. They made him wait outside. Didn't give him money. Only KSFC later gave him some money to buy a computer. Then when I was CFO, he used to come to my room every day, once a month, and tell me, don't ever go to a bank and don't more borrow money from the bank. He didn't need money, but he tell me, don't ever go to a bank. Because he was humiliated. Going before somebody asking for money, being turned away, come tomorrow, is humiliating, Praveen. It's humiliating. We have to bear that humiliation. But that's why we need financiers. We need people who are venture capitalists. We need fund managers. We need to collect all our money in savings, invest properly so young people will get access to capital and they can become entrepreneurs and they can grow. So finance is very, very important. Then technology is important. We live in the era of the digital revolution. The industrial revolution era is gone. We live in the digital revolution. The digital world is changing the way we live. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, 5.5 billion people have a mobile phone. Nearly 5.5 billion people are on the internet. They can interact with each other on this internet platform synchronously, asynchronously, 24 hours a day. They can do business. They can get entertainment, they can get education, they can get financial services, they can get health advice. Almost everything is available. The accumulated knowledge of humankind is available free of cost to everybody. The barriers to geography are gone. Wherever you are, if you have access to a mobile phone and a cheap data plan, which we have in abundance, we have access to everything the world has to offer. And the world has become flat. And the moment you join the internet, you get part of a network of 5.5 billion people. So technology is important. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing, quantum computing, biotechnology. These are all great technologies which will change the world and give the power of technology to every single individual. Not that every single individual is going to be an entrepreneur using technology, but we have to imbibe the power of technology in all our young people. And if you want, and we must remember, most of us here, past the age of 40, are the analog generation. We're all people who grew up when there's a rotary phone. Now, maybe our children have not seen the rotary phone at all. We had a rotary phone. We went by bus, never saw a plane, right? We never had a mobile phone, never had the internet. We all had books, magazines. Our mind was controlled by a few who wrote how the world is working, and we didn't know the truth. We're all innocent people. We didn't know we were innocent people manipulated by others. But today in the world of social media, in the world of technology, we must imbibe the power of technology in our young people so they can use the power of technology to scale up, to reach out consumers, because the barrier to reach consumers for business is gone. Once you're on the internet, the producer and the consumer are connected, and the global supply chain goes to the back end, and the global supply chain, which created wealth for the West in the era of the Industrial Revolution, is now available to everybody. And so we are in the midst of the digital revolution, and we must teach technology to young people. Every young person should learn how to use technology. And I think that is extremely important. Then the power of the network. We are all part of a network. Today we have some 21 extraordinary entrepreneurs, many of whom we didn't know. We didn't know. They came here, told their story of what they did, their struggles, their success, and made us proud. We never knew we had so many. There are many, many more too, which Ullas has to go discover. But I think it's extremely important that we create a network of people, scientists, business people, entrepreneurs, bankers, financiers, and everybody else, and get them together in one community to give an extra edge to our young people and to others, and support each other. Support each other. We all have to support each other. Because when we make the lonely last journey to meet our Maker, what are we going to take with us? Nothing but goodwill. Nothing but the tears of somebody who will say they were good people. Nothing else will take. Whatever wealth you create, however wealthy you are, when you go on your last journey, like the Pandavas did on the last journey, you must read the Mahabharata to understand the importance of the journey, the importance of birth and the last journey. They took nothing away with them. The power of money is the power to give away money to do good for others. Rohit, remember. We must earn a lot of money in our lives. Because we are talented, we have to do it. We must create wealth. We must give it to our children to give them an edge. But we must give it away for the betterment of society in our lifetime, not create corpuses. When we ran Akshaya Patra, we said we'll not have a corpus. We said so long as the child is hungry, we'll feed the child. Now 21, 22 lakh children are being fed every day. We gave more than 300 crore, 400 crore meals. It's going on. But we didn't have a corpus because we said a corpus is capitalization of misery. If there's misery today, elevate misery today. So there's no misery tomorrow. Right? So we need to have this network of people who are going to use their wealth for a larger purpose during their lifetime. And they will make our community better. They'll make the country better. They'll make everything better. And see it happen in their lifetime. Because after we are gone, nobody will care for you. You go to Bengaluru, to MG Road, there's a statue of Queen Victoria. The birds sit on her head and shit on her head. Who cares? The greatest empress of the world, the Victorian era, the age of imperialism, when Great Britain conquered the world, who cares? They're all destined to be in the dustbin of history. So, all of us. So do things in your lifetime, whatever you can, to the maximum extent. I think networking, helping others is extremely important. That's why in our culture, Ullas, you must tell your entrepreneurs, at the age of 60, you're supposed to hand over your empire to your children and go away into the forest. For all entrepreneurs, tell them, there's an expiry date. Don't sit in the chair forever. And my advice to all of you, those of you who have entrepreneurs made wealth, when the children are grown up, give them their share of the wealth. When they're grown up, 21, 22, divide what you got, give them their share. Right then, when you are still around, to help them. And let them do the business, give them the independence. Or give them your business and hand it over. Not like Prince Charles, who had to pray for many years that his old mother passes away so he can be king. She was devoted to the duty, so she would not abdicate. But he had to wait a long time. We don't want our children to wait a long time because if they live in frustration, if they grow up without enjoying what their fathers had done, parents had done, what is the point? What is the point of you hanging on too long to a chair? Because what matters is what comes after you. Is it sustainable? During your lifetime, are you seeing your children grow, your community grow? That is sustainable. Today, Ravi Pai runs Dayanand Palm's business. Ravi is the biggest landlord in Bangalore. He has to encash some of it into cash. I hope we do it very fast. We want that money. But there are many examples of young people taking over and running it. And when the father is around, act like a mentor, help them to grow because they need advice. But let them take the risk. You start from 0, you come to 100. Let them start from 100 to go to 1,000. 0 to 100 is difficult. So is 100 to 1,000. But we must do that. We must have multi-billionaires in our community. We must have unicorns in our community. Multi-billionaires. And we must be that powerful community. And then, we must invest in our culture, in our language, in our cuisine, in our arts, in our temples. That is what makes the richness of life. What is life without culture? What is life without a good book? What is life without a good movie, a good painting, going to a great temples? What is life without a bhajan? What is life without your own Konkani language and your cuisine? That is what makes your life rich. Not drinking Coca-Cola and eating a pizza. That's rubbish. Because we are inheritors of a rich culture. It's so rich, we ourselves have not discovered that. We went to Goa to see our Dharma Bhumi. 70, 80 temples. I think Pradeep Pai and Ramdas Kamath written a book about the temples of Goa. Such a beautiful temples. And they have been there for a long time. And when you go there, you feel at home. Goa is a dharma bhumi. You got a dharma bhumi where you are born. Your karma bhumi is where you work. But we have to go back to a dharma bhumi. We have to go back to our roots. And we must pass on our language and culture to our children like parents passed on to us. And my generation has not done well. I must confess. We are not passed on our culture. And it's very important. That's why Vishwa Konkani Kendra is important for culture. When we started off many years ago, we said, how do we connect our young people to our community? The way to do that is to make sure the young people feel the community is helping them and the community has a stake in them. And so we started this scholarship program to bring the community together, to make them not forget that they are part of a community, because the community is giving them something very precious, education, and helping them grow up. Now, they have come together to take the community forward. We have produced the next generation of leaders, 50 volunteers, 100 volunteers, 2,000 people. They all want to come together, invest back into the community, take up leadership, and take it forward for the next 20, 30 years. And to those of us who work for community, we must always create the next generation of leaders, because what matters is what comes after you. The future matters. The past is gone. The past will not come back. The future, we have to await. So we have to invest in our culture. I appeal to all of you. We have to work together to strengthen the Konkani language, Konkani culture, speak it at home to our small children. And never, because English is so powerful. I'm speaking in English. It's so powerful. English is a mongrel language. Mongrel. Mongrel is a street dog. With all words come into that. It's not a very beautiful language, even though it can be. But we have to pass on culture. And that is important. So we need to make sure that we educate our people, we are economically strong, we have finance at our fingertips, we have entrepreneurship, and then we create networks where people can go, and we invest in our culture. And all this has to be done by all of you in this room, working together. We must work together. We must form part of other groups, helping each other, take leadership positions, to do all that. And we have to be a powerful community. We are a minority. We are the real minority. Only 25 lakh Konkani speaking people in India. 50 years later, there won't be 25 lakh people. There almost nobody will speak Konkani. Vilapai, Kamat, Bhatt, no language. It is scary. And we're not having too many children either. Young people are not having too many children. Our fertility as a country has come to 2.0. Whole of the South is 1.7. The Jain community fertility is 1.2. Jains will disappear in 50 years. They're not producing children. So we must educate our young people to have babies at the right time, at least 2, each one of them. Because all your wealth and all your achievements, you've got to pass on. It's got to live after you. It shouldn't end with you. And the pleasure of, playing with your grandchildren. I got a 2-year-old grandson. He's taught me the most precious thing which I lacked in my life, which I thought I will never learn, Praveen. Patience. He's taught me patience. I'm very patient. I'm shocked at myself. I become patient. I never thought I'll have patience in my life. I'm impatient. But he taught me so many things. And I want to spend more and more time with him. Nothing else matters in the world. No speech, no talk, nothing matters except playing with him and spending as much time as possible. And why is that? Because you're learning. It's such a pleasure. But when you don't have grandchildren, what will you do? Your life is empty. All of us grow up, we have children, they grow away, they go away. They must fly. They leave us. Our lives become empty. That's why you must tell them, please have grandchildren. We look after your grandchildren. We'll spend our time because we got enough time. But the point is, we have to invest in our society and our community. And we have a role model globally for all this, the Jewish community. Jews were persecuted for 2,000 years by the Christians. It's only in, I think, 1967, 68, on Easter, the Catholic Church stopped praying for the destruction of the Jews. Till then, they were vilified. The Holocaust happened. They were gassed to death. They were killed because they were Jews on religious grounds. But the Jews have the largest number of Nobel Prize winners. The Jews have become the richest community in the world. They're the richest bankers, richest entrepreneurs. They created networks. They invest back in the culture. The Jewish language, Yiddish, right, Pranav, is now being promoted in Israel. And they have done it. And there is 6-7 million people, 60-70 lakh people. We have only 25 lakhs. So there are role models. And that is my prayer to all of you. That is my request to all of you. Invest back into your community. Participate in community events like this. Grow together. Invest in the next generation. Invest in your youth. Give them a big break. Of course, we are going to do well. We are not going to walk away into the sunset just like that. But you must give them space to grow. And once we do that, we will make the community better than what our fathers gave us. And our fathers had made the community better than what their parents gave us. And it sustains by itself over time. We may not be around to see it, but we must sustain. And what do we lack? We lack nothing. We have great entrepreneurs, great leaders, bright young people, good educational institutions, availability of capital. But what you require is the compassion, the passion for your community. Now, the question you may ask is, if you focus too much on your community, are you forgetting your duty to your state and to your country? No. We are a collection of communities in India. We must do something for our country. Our country comes first. We must do something for our Rajya, state. It comes first. We must do something for our city where we live to make life better. And then you must do something for a community. They're not in conflict with each other. They're in congruence with each other. Each one helps to build the other. You invest in a community, your community becomes better, the Rajya becomes better, city becomes better, the country becomes better. So there's no conflict in any of this. So remove the conflict in your mind. Remove the disdain. Now, when I grew up, we were in Bangalore, away from Mangalore, very few Konkani families, never met many of them. And we grew up very in an indifferent manner, not bothering, till I came into touch with Pradeep Pai and Ramdas Kamath for the Vishwa Konkani Kendra. And then I didn't want to go there. They wanted me to help them. I didn't do it. I said, why should I do it? I went to our Swamijis and told them, I've never come and met you. Why should I come and meet you? What is it that I should look forward? I said, why didn't you work to help young people in the community to grow? I told our Swamijis that if you don't attract the young people, you'll only have Dayanand Mom and his group coming to them every other month and seeking the blessings. You won't have Ravi Pai going there. Am I right, Ravi? Because what does Ravi Pai feel as a connection? Because Dayanand Mom grew up in a different era. The Ravi has grown up in a city in a different era. Why will Ravi go there? Why will I go there? Except one Swamiji told me in Goa recently, God will send you to me at the right time. I am not worried. Well, we don't have to agree with that, but we went there, whatever it is. So, I want to end by congratulating Ulas, Pradeep, Giri Ma'am, Guru, Sana and everybody else for doing this wonderful thing. This is a very high-class event. You walk from outside, you see the quality of the event, the quality of how it is held. The timing, the perfection, the compeer is an extraordinary woman. I'm so impressed with the way she's conducting and what she's doing. And she says her mother is an entrepreneur. I'm really wonderstruck. So what do we lack? We don't lack anything, but we must come together. And we must make a resolve to come together. We are not individuals. We are part of a community. If the community prospers, we prosper. If India prospers, we prosper. If Karnataka prospers, we prosper. If Bangalore prospers, we prosper. And my appeal to all of you, come together. And today, we will celebrate entrepreneurship. We'll see our young people come together. Join that Ullas Kamath Fund. Ullas by 8 o'clock, 50 crores. Get 50 people to sign up and give 1 crore. Many can give more than 1 crore, but take it later. But the name should be there, the commitment should be there, and we will all join together. And in this community, if we don't have 50 people who can give 1 crore or 1 or 2 years as a fund, we have not done any work. Otherwise, you sign that 50 crore check yourself. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful to all of you for coming. I wish you all the best. And please, take the community forward. We should be the most powerful community in India and in the world. And we should have billionaires in the next 10, 20 years. We should have unicorns. And every young person in the world should want to be part of the Konkani community. And it is your responsibility to make it happen. All of you in this room, all of you to make it happen and say you're going to make it happen because you want to make it happen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, sorry, I request you to please stay back on stage while I request Shri Nandagopal Shenoy to please come on stage and hand over a token of our appreciation and gratitude to Shri TV Mohandas Pai. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, once again for Shri TV Mohandas Pai. Oh